Welcome back to the Unexpected Detour, where we don't just talk about life's twists and turns, we honor them. Today's episode is different. It's not just about the detours we see on the outside, but the ones happening deep inside our bodies. We're talking about oncogenes, the tiny parts of our DNA that, when they go rogue, can spark the beginnings of cancer. Now, don't let that word scare you. We're going to break it down simply together. You don't need a science degree for this. You just need curiosity, compassion, and faith. Because when we understand what's happening inside of us, we can advocate better, ask the right questions, and share knowledge that could save a life. So grab your tea, your journal, or just a quiet moment. Today, we're walking through Science of the Soul. Segment 1. What are genes really? You ever asked yourself that question? What are the genes? Inside every cell of your body is a set of instructions, genes. Think of them like recipes passed down from your ancestors, telling your body how to grow, repair, and survive. Some of those genes, called proto-oncogenes, they're completely normal and helpful. Their job is to tell the cell it's time to grow, like a green light, but only when it's needed. The problem starts when that green light gets stuck. You know how that is when you're at the traffic light. Oh, tell me about it. A mutation or error in the gene can change the proto-oncogene into an oncogene. And oncogenes, they don't know when to stop. They keep telling the cell to grow and divide over and over, even when they're not supposed to. They're like kids, right? They don't stop, right? Trouble. So, simple terms, proto-oncogenes, normal growth genes. Oncogenes, mutated versions that won't shut off. Cancer doesn't mean you're broken. It means something inside of your body went off course. And learning how it works, that's the first step of getting back on track. Segment 2. What turns oncogenes on? So what causes these genes to go rogue? There are simple triggers, some inherited, some environmental, and some just random. A small change in the DNA, even one letter, can flip a proto-oncogene into an oncogene. It may look small, but it changes everything. Gene amplification. Sometimes the body makes too many copies of a growth gene. More copies, more messages to grow. Higher cancer risk. Chromosome translocation. Pieces of chromosomes break off and join where they don't belong. This can create a supercharged hybrid gene, one of the that fuels cancer, like BCR, ABL gene in leukemia. Some viruses, like HPV, can insert DNA near our genes and switch on oncogenes. That's one reason why vaccines matter. Environmental triggers, radiation, smoking, toxic chemicals, even long term stress can damage DNA and activate oncogenes. Here's the key: none of this is your fault, but knowing these risks puts the power back in your hands. Segment 3. Black women and cancer risks. I want to pause here and talk directly to my sisters, you Black women, because while cancer can affect anyone, the truth is the impact hits us differently. Black women are more likely to be diagnosed with aggressive forms of breast cancer, We're often diagnosed at younger ages, and too often our voices go unheard in the doctor's office. That's not because our genes were weaker, it's because the system isn't always built with us in mind. Delayed screening, limited access to care, our pain being dismissed. But here's the truth. I want you to hold on to knowledge is power. When you know about oncogenes, about BRCA mutations, about HER2 amplification, you can ask for the tests. You can push for second opinions, and you can advocate for your health. I truly wish I knew about HER2 amplification because I would have asked. But unfortunately, I didn't know about that. So I just wanted to share some education with you. And advocacy, that's resilience, that's survival, that's breaking generational silence. So, if you're listening today and something doesn't feel right in your body, don't wait. Don't brush it off. Don't let anyone tell you it's nothing. You deserve answers. You deserve care and you deserve to live. This detour we're on isn't just personal, it's communal. When one of us learns, all of us rise. When one of us speaks up, another finds her voice. When one of us survives, it lights a path for the next woman. Segment 4, Faith Meets Science. When I first heard words like oncogene or mutation, I thought this is too much, too overwhelming. But I learned that knowledge doesn't cancel out faith. In fact, it strengthens it. Science explains how, faith reminds us of who. Science tells us what's happening in ourselves. Faith tells us that God is still in control of our destiny. Understanding oncogenes doesn't mean you're walking away from prayer. It means you're praying with power because now you can ask for wisdom in your treatments, in your choices, in your conversations with doctors. The Bible says in Hosea 4:6, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. That tells me God doesn't want us to be in the dark about our bodies. He wants us to seek wisdom, excuse me, and then trust Him to guide us through. So if you're facing cancer or standing beside someone who is, know this. Excuse me. God's presence doesn't leave just because you're sitting in a doctor's office. His power doesn't stop at the hospital door. His love doesn't disappear just because a diagnosis shows up on paper. Science helps us understand the path. Faith carries us through the journey, and together we help and together they help us walk the detour of courage, hope, and healing. I have a quick affirmation in closing. You are not your mutation. You are not your diagnosis. You are not your fear. You got to remember this. You are whole. You are loved. You are informed. You are powerful. Say those every day. I hope you got a pen, you wrote it down, you've jotted down this information. And if you're not too sure about what I'm saying and you don't understand, go look it up and you will find out exactly what these oncogenes are. I mean, I remember the day that I got diagnosed and I was explained to it about the genes. The first thing I went home and I looked up genes, but I didn't know about the other part. I was explained to it that you have a good gene, there's a bad gene, it breaks off and it attacks the healthy genes and it begins to grow. But when you look up these words that you've never heard of before, but your curiosity will get the best of you because you want to know exactly what it is, that's when you'll find out exactly what it is and why it grows. It has a name. just like everything else. Those genes, I guess the doctor didn't think I would understand. Of course, I wouldn't because I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor. But when I did my own research about these genes, I had a clear idea of exactly what he was trying to explain to me because he drew a picture in the doctor's office and showed me these genes. So, with that, we're going to close in prayer. God, thank you for the wisdom to learn what we do not understand. Thank you for the courage to speak up when we feel unseen. Cover every listener, every woman, every warrior with your grace and protection. Give peace to mind, healing to the body, and comfort to the soul. And may this knowledge open doors, change outcomes, and saves life. If this episode bless you, share it, tag a sister, a survivor, or someone who needs this message. Subscribe to the Unexpected Detour and leave a review. It helps others find the hope they've been searching for. Until the next time, keep walking your detour with faith and remember, you're not alone.